I'm a Virgo star Jharrel Jerome, Mr. and Mrs. Smith's Maya Erskine, Stephen Colbert, and Maureen Eadows, the awardist. Emmy winner Jerome goes big for his subversive comedy. Erskine reveals how Tom Cruise inspired her on the action drama, nomination predictions, and Maureen Eadows, the awardist, digital magazine. Jharrel Jerome on the comedy advice he got from Bill Hader, growing pains, and the mental gymnastics of playing a 13-foot-tall teen. Jharrel Jerome is feeling a little sleepy when he logs on to join Entertainment Weekly's Awardist podcast for an interview. The actor apologizes, saying he's a little run down after a quick trip to Miami with friends. "I'm realizing why I don't do that anymore," jokes the actor, who at the ripe old age of 26 has already starred in an Oscar-winning movie, Moonlight, and won an Emmy for his role as Curry Wise in the Netflix limited series, When They See Us. But as soon as we start talking about his starring role in I'm a Virgo, Jerome absolutely lights up. Created by Boots Riley, sorry to bother you. Virgo begins with Jerome's cootie, a 13-foot-tall teenager living in Oakland, leaving the house he shares with his aunt and uncle, Carmen Ejogo and Mike Epps, for the first time in 19 years. Part absurdist comedy, part searing social satire, and all wildly original, Virgo follows Cootie's journey as he makes friends with a group of young activists, Felix, Brett Gray, Jones, Kara Young, and Scat, Elias Farnes, and falls in love with Flora, Olivia Washington, a Bing Bang Burger cashier who possesses super speed. Once out into the world, Cootie becomes a media celebrity and a target for the hero, Walton Goggins, a billionaire comic book publisher who also fights crime in an Iron Man-like robo-suit. Riley used forced perspective and other practical effects to create Virgo's visually stunning alternate universe, which meant Jerome largely performed his scenes opposite tiny puppets of his co-stars. Even with that challenge, the actor brings Cootie to life with an alluring blend of confidence and innocence, and surprising comedic prowess. The Bronx-born Jerome chatted with the awardist about the mental gymnastics of shooting in forced perspective, the comedy advice he got from Bill Hader, and the Virgo moment he calls the weirdest scene in the planet of cinema. Check out more from Edo's The Awardist, featuring exclusive interviews, analysis, and our podcast diving into all the highlights from the year's best in TV. THEAIDIST. It all started with an email from Boots Riley titled 13-foot-tall black man from Oakland. In the first meeting, he brought figurines to show you how he wanted to shoot. Tell us about that conversation. What kind of questions did you have for Boots about Cootie? JJRRELG. Boots brought the whole 9 yards to that meeting when he showed up. I got the email, and of course, opening it was a must just because of how just bold the concept was. But when you think of a bold concept, you start to question everything around it. How are you going to do it? What does it require on my end? And I think Boots knew that when he showed up to the meeting, because he did bring that briefcase and he had a ton of figurines. He had a Cootie figurine, a Flora, a Jones, and him bringing those figurines was for the purpose of showing me how he was going to shoot in forced perspective. He was going to do a lot of magic in terms of the body as opposed to the computer. That excited me. Fewer special effects, not too much CGI. When he said that, that's when I got even more confused, and I was kind of like, well, what exactly is forced perspective? And what does that entail for me? He looked at me like, it's not going to be easy. Not for you, not for me, or anybody involved. I was on board as soon as that meeting was done, especially because I knew nothing was going to be easy. You love a challenge. I love a challenge. It's why I'm very specific with the roles I take. If one role challenged me in such a way, it'd be great if the next one did it in a different way. For this, shooting forced perspective is forcing me to not make any eye contact with my scene partners. Not make any eye contact with anything besides an X made of tape. You have to put all of your thoughts and emotions into this green tape X and imagine it giving back to you as an actor. That's so important, feeding off who you're working with, And this time around, that couldn't happen.